Hi everyone. So a few months ago, I got a message from one of my followers, Bill, and he told me I'm completely considering quitting and throwing away the book that he had just written. And from my perspective, I was just shocked because we'd been going a little bit back and forth like I do with many of you regarding this issue, and the idea of completely throwing away your book seemed a little bit extreme. But the key question was, is now a good time to publish a book? This is Chris Baird from selfpublishingmadeeasynow.com, where self-publishing doesn't have to be so hard. So back to Bill. So Bill is from Seattle, and he's been writing this book as a side gig. So in other words, just doing it on the side. It's something he's always wanted to do. He's really wanted to get this book out onto the market and to see if he could actually publish a book. He wrote the entire book, but the challenge that he was facing was this idea of maybe I don't have what it takes, and he had seen that there are just so many books that are going out onto the market. Now, he had heard back in 2012, 2013, we had what was called the Kindle Gold Rush at that particular time, where almost any book that was put onto Amazon was selling like crazy. But here we are in 2021, 2022, and we're seeing that the markets are slowing down a little bit in some ways, and he was seeing that there are so many books coming on the market. And so how exactly is his book, among the thousands of books that would be hitting the market, expected to actually make any sales? Well, the thing is, he knew that it takes time, and he didn't want to waste his time publishing a book if it wasn't going to make it on the market, if he was going to do that. And so the first barrier that he was facing was a mental one. So you have this mental barrier that you've put on yourself where I can't do this, and it's just because of, well, the environment outside myself has certain conditions, and since it's like that, well, then I guess it would be a complete waste of time. The other thing was he wasn't completely sure that his book and the quality of the book was high enough in order for the market itself to actually be interested in even reading his book. So the idea that it would be a waste of time and money to even put the book onto the market was another barrier that he was facing with this particular one. The thing is, I listened to him closely, and I told him, you shouldn't allow the quantity of books that are getting onto the market to impact your decisions. We also should not allow how easy things or how great things were 5-10 years ago when it comes to Amazon to have any impact on the decisions and our goals that we're making at the moment. So the thing is, we took a closer look at his exact situation, and he began to see that if we can slow it down, the first thing is trying to keep it as simple as possible by breaking it down into the small steps that are necessary to get his book onto the market. That was the first thing. So we're not focusing on all of the different aspects of self-publishing at the same time. The second thing is we needed to quit looking at the competition. So even though you see all of these other books going on the market, these books are not your books. They're not in your voice. And there were a lot of these aspects that he simply had not considered. And the other thing was, what happens if we just publish the book? We go through the self-publishing process. We do it easy, as we like to do here. And after we reach that point and we put the book on the market, even if there are thousands of books and it doesn't sell, that is not a crisis. That's a huge achievement, especially in the case of Bill, because he had been wanting to get this book on the market for a really long time. So what happened was, for him, he began to quit focusing on this aspect of it, and he started moving through the steps on the self-publishing journey, right? One step at a time. And what happened was he began to see that by moving through the steps, getting his cover, getting the editing done on his book, and moving through these specific steps in the right order, he was able to progress, and he could see that his book could, in fact, do okay. Even if it doesn't sell 1 million copies, he needed to lower the expectations that was on the book. But the idea is by learning, he would be able to, at a later point, be able to do doing content marketing and running ads against the book in order to see if he could get it to sell. And if not, we can improve the cover. We can improve the formatting. There are all sorts of things that can be done on this. And so for him, it was a key realization for him that this could be done easily and that his expectations were way too high, and he was allowing the environment around him to create a mental barrier, a block for him to actually achieve his goal. And that was one of the key issues and takeaways that Bill came to the realization of. It was that he actually could get his book onto the market. Now, I believe Bill is still working on his book, so he still doesn't have it on the market. But this was something that sense of achievement of even making it through multiples of the steps and continuing onwards is something that was extremely powerful that he personally experienced. One of the things is, though, that I informed him of, which is really important, is not to fall for a lot of people who tell you you can't do it on your own, but in fact you actually can. But along the same lines, there are 3 self-publishing scams you want to watch out for, and you can find out more right above me here. Thanks.